Hi, friends. In our time together today, going to do just a walkthrough of figuring your grip out on the low D whistle. There are a couple of things, I know I've got videos on this. I appreciate that. However, some friends have asked for clarifications, and a couple of those clarification questions have really helped me realize that I could add some more content, including figuring your grip out on a low D with close finger spacing. We often just assume that this is going to be easy, but it's not necessarily so. To quote Porgy and Bess. So I think it's important for us to do this. Now you'll notice I started off and said figure out your grip. There are a couple of generally accepted grips for a low D whistle. If I grab a high D whistle, I'll use the the Burke. You see, the hole spacing is just like that, very close together. And if I compare that to the low D, the bottom three holes almost fit together in the space between the fourth and the fifth holes. So it's really very different. And a lot of people have challenges with it, and I get that. And I'm happy having us revisit this all the time. There are a couple of standard grips. And please, please, please don't let anybody tell you you have to use one or the other. You use what works for you. If you have phenomenally long professional basketball players, then feel free to play it like a high D whistle. I do not, and I am not comfortable doing that, and my hands would cramp so soon. One of the primary grips is a full piper's grip. Notice how the center pads on my hands, both hands, are hitting the holes. And whatever grip you use, make sure you feel those holes with your fingers. That's going to help a lot. Now, there's a modified piper's grip, which has you placing the pads of the third finger of each hand on the third and sixth holes. And then you figure out where your other fingers are going to be comfortable. And that's okay. And I find myself doing that sometimes. But notice what my little finger's doing. It's flapping in the breeze. I personally love to use my little finger to stabilize the whistle. I like that. So for me, my upper hand is pad, middle, middle, and my lower hand begins with my pinky finger, and then my other fingers fall as they do. So I think that's, if I'm telling somebody, as I did just 2 days ago, as a matter of fact, a friend, my sister-in-law is at the house, and she's trying whistles, and she's going to be good. But she was trying a low D. Her hands are smaller than mine. I said, well, and this is how I walk folks through it. Put the thumb of your top hand kind of around behind the first hole, and then put the pad of your third finger there, and then see where your fingers hit. Are you comfortable? You probably need to move your thumb around a little bit. Mine actually goes above the hole for me to be comfortable. And then take the thumb on your lower hand and put it around behind the fourth hole. For me, I put my pinky down, and then I let my other fingers fall as they do. And then my first thought is, can I feel the holes? I do this with every new whistle I get. Now, the real trick is, can you play starting at the B, one hole, and walk down? See? In showing you that, I moved my hand differently than I normally do. your hand really needs to be relaxed. If your hand's in tension, this is not going to help you. So for me, I'm kind of around like this. So can you start at the B and walk down? How comfortable are you? Try that grip out. Pay attention to it. Make sure you move the whistle around. See how you're doing. Adjust for comfort. Another thing I do sometimes is I tell people to just put their fingers on there, let their thumb fall where it does, and then have them rotate their hands till they feel comfortable. And I end up being around like that, which is about how I play. So, make sure you feel the holes. Make sure your hands are relaxed and comfortable. You don't want your hands to cramp, and your hands will cramp if you're, I watch people and they try and do this, and I'm like, oh, you are going to hurt so much. Not only that, but you can't cover holes, and then you'll be frustrated because you can't play. Let your relaxed fingers cover the holes. Use the middle of your fingers. I only use the top pad of one of my fingers. You do what works for you. That's the important thing. And then try and play the notes, particularly going down. Now try and go up. And that C sharp's important because it lets you know that you're balancing the whistle okay. And that will let you know if your thumbs are in the right place. And you'll see what finger wants to land to stabilize the whistle. For me, it's my little finger. Now, I started off trying to play kind of like this. And my fingers got too crampy. Then I went to a full piper's grip, and I did that for months. And after a while, I realized that I was kind of playing with this. Then one other point here. Don't let your wrists be in tension. Don't have your wrists crampy. When I show somebody to do this, I'm like, all right, put your elbows out a bit. Get your hands in. Now let your arms relax. How does that feel? Don't let your wrist be at funny angles. You're going to get a repetitive use injury. Straight line wrists. That's all really important because as you're playing, you'll be 20 minutes in, you'll be tired, your hands will be hurting, and you hate the whistle. Get relaxed. There is no such thing as the perfect grip, and the low whistle grip police are not going to come and arrest you or give you a ticket because you're holding it wrong. Hold it as is comfortable for you. So my thumbs are my top thumb's a little above the first hole. My top hand's about like that. My bottom thumb's around the same place, smidge above the fourth hole, and my fingers are about like that. That is currently what makes me happy. I'm not saying it's what's going to make me happy moving forward. It's currently what makes me happy. There are no guarantees about this. As I get better, I may find something else works better. Now, interestingly, this is that by the way was my Howard, the very first low D I bought. I still really like. I'll put links in the notes to this video as to where you could get a Howard or a Carbony. Now the Carbony, this is the low D, big bore, close finger spacing, and notice how close those fingers are on the bottom hand. Pull up my Howard. See that? It's that 5th, 6th hole spread that is really bugging a lot of people. And so Robert Carbony created this thing. Notice how close my fingers are together. However, let me grab the Burke again. The holes are not spaced just like they would be on a high D. So the Burke ends here and the Carbony ends there. Now that's not that real far away, but it is far enough away that you're not just going to pick up a high D and play it and then pick up this low D and play it immediately. Now when my thumbs land at around the same spot, right above the first hole, right around the fourth hole. But notice how I'm still using my little finger sometimes, but notice how much closer I am to my finger pads. It's just a lot easier to hold. But I would say that if you're figuring out how to put your fingers on the Carbony, with a whistle, you're never using your fingertips. Oh man, that just hurts my fingers to try and do that. Play with the pads, the first pad of your fingers, or if that is uncomfortable, move your fingers in a bit. Feel free. Place your hands in a manner where it's comfortable. Your thumbs are there for stability purposes. I love my little finger stabilizing. So you've got the points of contact are your mouth, not your teeth, your top thumb, your bottom thumb, and for me, my little finger. So I've got 2 points of contact below the whistle, 1 point of contact holding the top of the whistle, and 1 point of contact at the front of the whistle. Now, a lot of people, like if they're playing in the other upper octave, maybe the third finger goes down to hold the whistle. That's not going to hurt anything. Figure out what's going to work well for you. So when you're holding a close finger spacing whistle, you're wanting to walk down, and I do find, let's see, let me play a minute. Yeah, I do play almost just above the knuckle. Figure out what's comfortable for you. Because again, exactly like the other whistle, the worst thing is to cramp your hands. And so I appreciate some friends asking, well, the Carbony, the close finger spacing doesn't feel just like a high D. Yeah, you can, if you want. Notice I'm just currently holding it like I would a standard spacing low D. You could still use a modified Piper's grip. You could still use a full Piper's grip. Nothing wrong with it. Again, make sure you're feeling the holes. You always you learn where the holes are by feeling them. So that's very important to do. 2 other things, and we'll close up. There's a good video that the Howard folks released about holding the whistle. It's a little more traditional grip conversation than mine. Mine is, well, learn about the traditional grip and then find the one that works for you. I think that's really important. These things are personal. I've watched professionals with their fingers all over the place. So, like I said, there's no law. But I'll put a link in the notes to this video to the video Howard puts out. That's really good. I appreciate one of our friends reminding me of that. Also, if you're an experienced player and you've got some other suggestions, something I didn't mention, something you'd like to add or clarify or underline, please comment in the video. That'd be really helpful. If you're a new player and you're trying to figure this out and you're beating your head against the wall about some part of this, please ask in the notes to this video, and somebody in the community is going to help out because we have so many helpful, experienced players that I'm so thankful for. So, my friends, I hope this is helpful. If so, please like the video. It always helps promote our channel. If you're brand new and checking us out because of this specific conversation, please subscribe. We've got the best community of folks learning to play the whistle together and helping each other out. Until then, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling, friends.